never.
Actually, yo, real close. Yeah. Can we chat? Just chat a little bit.
I'm chatting.
I'm trying to get the levels right. Last time, like when I was been recording last time, it didn't really work. I don't know. I think there's a way in I think there is a way in Audition to kind of like get it where
Balance.
or balance the whole thing balance, but it only records one track because it hasn't got multiple.
Oh,
Okay, are we set up? We good.
I believe so.
Oh sweet, yeah, thanks. Fucking these are mine.
Cofters.
Seriously, fucking a cook for you fellas. This is the way I get treated. I get fucking 2 left.
It's very juicy.
How many did you have?
1.
Oh. I don't know if the levels are fucking right. Are they right?
Am I loud? It doesn't look like it. Turn me up, turn me up, turn me up. I'm coming. Oh, turn me up. Hello?
Well, that's a bit loud.
Bit of ASMR.
Bit of ASMR. ASMR or
Your
bass?
shit be fucking peaking. Look at that.
That's beacon as, bro. I can't get it right. I don't know how to do it properly.
That's good enough. She'll be right.
Yeah, as long as as long as that looks even. Cody, get in, mate. What are you doing? You're fucking part of You're part of this one. This is the barber episode.
Is it now? Bit of ASMR for
I
the
fucking
people.
love this.
Yes.
Nah, it's fine, honestly. I'll just drink me beer.
See you, Taylor.
Do you want to just say hello? Is this thing on?
You're already off, champ.
Okay, where are you?
It's so fruity.
You're right there.
Fruity beers.
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
This should be
Hopefully the
right.
audio sounds alright. Sounded alright last time.
Crack open a cold one and join us for this episode of Beers in the Shed. Taylor's taking a Schweppes.
You're taking a Schweppes, that's fine.
A Schweppes.
Just start taking heaps of shit out of that fridge.
If you want some ice cream, there's 30,000 tubs in the freezer
Yeah.
that have all been melted and refrozen 3 times.
Plus or minus 5.
Oh.
Hello.
Oh, we've got a
Hello.
third microphone.
You gotta talk something like that, eh? Yeah.
I feel like I'm asleep. I basically haven't eaten.
What the fuck are you doing here then, cunt? Let's show him.
What's going on here?
What's he doing?
Am I reading this out?
No, don't read it.
The top thing.
That's
Do you need to go away for 10 minutes?
I think I do.
Go
Cody
away.
needs to be
Go.
gone
Go.
for- How
Go.
long's it going to take?
It won't happen. It won't finish.
This is perpetual
I want you to be back for this podcast too.
backgammon.
If you can go do that and get back for
And a
this
review.
podcast. Amazing. Thank you. We can't tell you.
He's playing a game of backgammon.
It's quite funny. if we didn't have a family if we didn't have a family friendly
Here, I'll send you a message.
yes yeah
What's that guy? What's your name again?
I can't believe Cody's just if he accomplishes that is so funny.
Hang on. I'll
Sorry guys. Yeah, no, we're gonna get into this podcast very soon. We're just settling in. I hope you guys are settling in too. We got some high end topics to talk about today.
in the car.
Yeah.
In
How
the
funny is
car.
that?
I hope so. They're playing a game.
Yeah,
of-
sweet. All right, I reckon we'll. Okay, well let's get into the
See you, mate.
Let's get into the see you, mate. Yeah, love you long time.
Oh, I probably shouldn't burp in your ears.
That's all right. I'm enjoying this. I've been editing the episode 2.
You're
Really nice, really cool. I hope you guys have enjoyed it so far. Whoever's watching and listening and viewing.
welcome.
We started a TikTok yesterday.
Quickly
this-
touching on that, we have done clips on TikTok, and we clipped something from our first episode where we talked about our favorite TikTokers.
Yeah. Clayton's
You'll
World.
never believe it. Clayton's World has liked our posts
We have
talking about him.
We fucking made it.
That's it. This is the last episode. No, it's great. I didn't. To be honest, I didn't really expect that. I really want to give Clayton's World a skin fade.
Yo, Clayton's
That
World,
would be
let's
lit.
hook you up, all right?
Do you want a hairy?
Please. Comment
We'll
below,
bring
message
you
us.
some cake.
Cake, fucking
I'll spoil you with some Crocs.
SpongeBob. Like, we'll play whatever you want, bro. Like,
Hook it
whatever. We just want to give back to you for just providing that wholesome content. So,
He's the
appreciate it. Thank you so much. Hopefully Cody will be back very soon and he has secured the W. But
goat. That was very left field. I can't hold it in. It's quite funny.
it is. It's so good. But let's just get into quick formalities so I know where to clip what I need to clip for
Yep.
Instagram. So this is a selfish kind of thing we're going to use. Oh, it didn't happen?
That was fast.
Oh, we didn't secure the W. Fuck.
What? Oh. You play Monopoly another day.
So what Cody was going to go actually do... Can I say it? Okay, I can't say it.
Who's playing Monopoly? Monopoly.
Monopoly.
Anyway,
Do you not know what you're talking about?
no, I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, let's just get into the formalities. So, like, pretty much what this whole concept... what the fuck?
What is going on?
All right, we're just going to reset our brains. We've been cutting hair all day. I've been cutting hair all day.
I've also been cutting hair all day.
I've done a couple.
No one cares. It's all about me. Have you not noticed this is Nick's world?
Nick's World.
This is Nick's world. Like, you live in my world.
Nick's World is in Clayton's World, but you're Nick and I'm the carer.
Yeah. You're the carer.
I don't know what's going on.
Who's the carer? Anyway, okay, so guys, I am coming back to cutting hair full time. I've decided that since Hayley's leaving because she's on maternity leave, and congratulations, big round of applause for Hayley. Yay. She's going to have a pretty little girl. I think pretty. We haven't seen the girl yet, but of course, pretty girl. But congratulations, guys. So Nick is coming back to cutting hair full time. I'll be cutting hair Tuesday through till Saturday here at Civitas. Sorry.
Oh, Jesus.
Disgusting. So yeah, you can book in with me. I want to just quickly talk about the past 2 days of me cutting hair. So Hayley's been off sick, but then next week she... Fuck.
Sorry.
We're going to start this again, yo. Nah.
Go on.
So pretty much past 2 days I've been cutting hair, and I want to talk about something that means a lot to me. Is cutting hair, like barbering itself, has saved my life. So this is a quick little deep... Are you fucking bored already, are you?
I'm fine.
Jesus
Keep going.
Christ. It saved my life in the way that it gave me structure. I don't know how to really break it down, but pretty much the past 6 months, I fucking have not been cutting hair. And ever since not cutting hair anymore because of the lockdown and like just trying to run the business here with Jacob cutting hair and just trying to just evolve the business a bit more, it took a bit of identity away from me. And I think that coming back cutting hair for the past 2 days back to back has really shown what I love and what I love to do and what I want to do moving forward. Cutting hair gives me structure. Cutting hair gives me connection with people that I love. Meeting new people like today. Fuck, man. Did you know that we cut the CEO of Pandora? Like,
What?
yeah, like 100.
Like Pandora the jewelry.
Yeah. Yeah, yo.
Oh,
So
okay.
like, I was just like, oh yeah, what do you do for work? He's like, I'm the CEO of Pandora, and I'm like,
Okay.
okay. And then we just talked about life and business and everything and how he's navigating, and I'm like, Pandora is like a huge jewelry company.
Are they Australian?
They're worldwide. They were from Switzerland or like
Yeah,
that.
I
right.
think they're Swedish or something.
So
Yes.
CEO of Pandora Australia.
Pandora, Australia, Asia, like
Damn,
that
what a king.
Because then there's like Europe, and then there's also America. So I think there's like 3 CEOs, but they've broken it up
Damn.
just because it's that big.
Shout out that guy.
Anyway, lovely guy. He complimented our shop quite well.
Thank you, CEO.
And it was
man.
really cool. He gave us, we just kind of chatted the shit, and he's just like, and he gave me some kind of hints into like, you know, what's it like to run a big business and or like big company and stuff like that. And he said like, you know, it's all about experience, and that's what we're about here. Civitas is all about experience, and that's what I started barbering on, and that's what we started the private studio on. And Civitas, we wanted to be more about just an experience rather than just the haircut itself, which alternative, fuck, I don't even know what words I'm using right now, but that was pretty much like, I miss that. I miss giving that experience to people and just talking to people and creating, and me cutting hair gave me that creative outlet. So then it kind of really helped me even become more passionate about this project for humans. And I was saying to Jacob and Cody today, which you'll probably see more of Cody throughout this. Like, we'll do podcasts here and there, but pretty much he'll be like the unofficial third host with the mostest. And of course, Taylor, the other barber here. And we just want to use this brand for humans as an extension from the chair outwards. So there's a couple of projects that we're really excited to kind of launch over the next couple of months with this brand to get more attention and entertain you guys and add more value. So yeah, I just want to say thank you to everyone that has always supported me with cutting hair. I am back cutting hair full time at Civitas here, just to reiterate. And yeah, so yeah, that's
I think
it.
Touching on that, one big thing that I kind of realized is being creatives, you always need at least a creative outlet, which is why obviously you start sort of being in a creative industry in the first place. And I think at the time when we sort of decided to have Nick work on the business and kind of get things going, and that was in the sort of infancy of Civitas. And obviously this shop is huge. There's a lot more going on. We needed someone pretty much full-time to get it planned before we even open and run it and that sort of thing. And at the time, Nick was doing a lot of wedding videography and photography and that sort of thing, and that was a creative outlet. But as you stopped that, and sort of with COVID or with you not having as much sort of desire in it or whatever, then you had no real
Product placement.
Shout out Mythos, pay us please.
Hey.
You had no creative outlet, and I think that, yeah, obviously over time, when you are a creative and you have no creative outlet and your only work is like a either service or admin or whatever, you get pretty over. You need something.
Yes, 100%. And I think because I am a creative, and
a lot of barbers do the same thing. Like, we've seen so many barbers, even just on the coast, that have come in or out of it or lost interest or whatever, because as soon as the creative outlet becomes a barbering shifts from being a creative outlet to a job, and you're not necessarily learning or creating anything new or dedicating time, you kind of go, what am I doing? Like, my creative outlet became my job, and then you want to stop. And a lot of barbers do that, and you can see why, which is why a lot of them either leave or they do something else for a little bit, or they try something else, or they have to shift into some sort of other asset, or what am I saying?
yeah,
Not
I
asset.
know what you mean. Aspect of for
aspect
sure.
of creativity
of the
to-
business. And I think it's to grow, because you get monotonous with like cutting
I'm a
hair
little bit
every single
tanked on
day.
this one beer that I haven't even finished yet. It is hitting me.
You do. It gets quite repetitive when you're cutting hair back to back every single day, because it's like you can't
focus on the
it is
creativity.
repetitive.
Yeah.
But it does have that aspect of creativity that it's there every day. But I think getting into it for the past 2 days, I know for the foreseeable future, like for the foreseeable future, for maybe like the next year or year and a half, I am grateful that I can cut hair, and I'm grateful that I'll continue to cut hair and be busy with it. But I also think that from what we've learned, having an outlet like this podcast, like the content, like that's why I'm putting so much emphasis on the For Humans brand, to just be an extension of just what we do in the barber chair. So then it's not like we're doing something completely different. It's not like, okay, from the chair we're going to go paint at home or build things at home out of wood. You know what I mean? That's completely different. Whereas cutting hair and doing the podcast, it's different, but it's also, we're just talking.
And this is
It's
what
the
we
same
do
thing.
every day. We sit there, we talk shit to clients, but then we
Yeah.
can come here and have our own conversation.
yeah, we can chat and have that conversation and lead conversation whilst also like not like the creativity is the podcast itself, I suppose. We're just having a conversation and then making this creative the same way that cutting hair, we're having a conversation and the physical haircut is the creative aspect.
Yeah.
And we're just having a chat most of the day.
Exactly right. And like that's why having an authentic podcast like this where we can be silly, we can be dumb, and you know what I mean? Like that's pretty much how we operate throughout the day cutting hair. Like it's like 100. Like we're going to talk about some dumb shit, like, you know, I'm sure we'll get off this topic in a minute after getting a little bit deep here and talk and just chat some shit and go left field. But we will be able to reel it in that aligns with the brand. Like it aligns with what our meaning and message is behind the brand.
Sure.
So, yeah, I appreciate it. I don't want to get too deep into it. I don't want to get too philosophical about the transition from stepping away from here and there. I just want to talk about the projects that we're going to be possibly doing, maybe brainstorm some stuff. Want to hear like, yeah, maybe we'll focus it around, of course, barbering, but I think like, you know, hear about how Cody feels being a new barber. What's it like to be in the world of barbering now? You know what I mean? Like, and now experience that you've been in 2 shops, like you can see the difference between what shops can do, like culture wise. Not to say like the other shop was a bad shop.
Not at all.
You know what I mean? It's a great shop and we're still good friends with them. Like even like Jacob and I used to work for him and we're still good friends with them, but it's all about your environment. But yeah, let's just fucking just drive straight into that. Like, how do you feel as a barber, man? Like a new barber, like, well, not so new. You've been doing it for like a year and a half now, so.
Yeah. No, I'm very thankful to be in this career now. Obviously, I changed over from initially being a mechanic, and then I was a garbo after that, doing council pickups and whatnot. Basically, I'm pretty stoked with it. I'm learning a lot. Even just from being here, I've learned a lot. But at my old shop, I was at Black Wolf Collective. They are a good bunch of people there, and I'm very thankful to have been there for the time that I was. Learnt a lot there as well. It's a very fast-paced environment there, with the tattoo studio and all that stuff going on. And then I was lucky enough to move over here with the boys, meet my new second family.
Boys.
And then, yeah, but creativity-wise, it's been good. Like, I can spend more time on making the haircuts, spend more time on designing them and figuring out what styles I like in general as a barber.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely have to find yourself. Like, as a barber, there's no right or wrong way of cutting. People have kind of come up with this weird little world where some people tell you that you're doing the right thing or the wrong thing, or that there's only one way of doing things. And at the end of the day, like, the client wants a short haircut that makes them feel good, and from that you can figure out your own little style or what you like to do or what you want to focus on or whatever. And that's like, I think the exciting part of being new. I mean, I still do it. I still find things that I'm like, yeah, I like doing that, or I want to do more of this or that or whatever.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's cool when you start, because you're like trying to figure out what that is, and you slowly start to find that you're doing more of a certain type, or you get a certain type of client or whatever. And yeah, like being new, you're gonna pick that up and work your way out. Hello.
Just doing some Instagram.
Oh yeah.
That was so awkward, bro.
I keep thinking about this. Like, if you're listening to this,
We're sorry.
this looks like a really engaging podcast from that story that you just put up.
Yeah. Like, I should have started filming like when you were halfway through that
You
speech.
should have. Anyway.
Anyway, I
who
fucking
knows?
really hope the audio on this is like
Working.
because it looks like fucking like I'm just trying to. You can't hear anything. Maybe we should get headphones just so we can know that.
Probably should, eh?
You know what I mean? But
Testing.
like, you go test 1 2.
Test 1 2.
That seems alright. And then I go test 1 2.
Yeah, testy one.
Yeah, that all looks pretty good.
It's
You just
pretty
gotta-
spot on.
If you start yelling,
have a yell.
Just got to yell at the microphone.
yeah, for sure. Like, barbering is such a personal thing. As like, if you are a barber, you've got to find your groove. I mean, there's a lot of barbers out there, like anything really, that you can just become a copycat of others and have systems that you do. But I think being able to be creatively free with what you are as a barber makes you more valuable. Like, all of us here are quite quality, but I would like to say so myself. Like, my haircuts have been fire for the past 2 days, and I'm sure there's a lot of improvement to go, but I've been quite impressed with myself being off the tools for so long, and just getting the compliments of like kids, like a couple of kids and a couple of people were like, that's like the best haircut I've ever had. And I'm like, I know. No, but like,
You're welcome.
you're
Now
welcome. You're welcome. No, I'm the fucking king. No, but I think like that in itself secures my confidence to be like, this is where I belong. This is what I'm good at, and this is what I'll do as my work. Doesn't mean that I'm going to be cutting hair behind on the chair on the floor all the time, but I think the thing is, I got desperate. No, I didn't get desperate. I got too ambitious to create money and wealth in places that I didn't have passion about.
Yeah, and it's we always talk about it all the time, and I have talked to so many of my clients about it's crazy hearing, like, one of my biggest fears was doing something I absolutely hated for the rest of my life, because I've had jobs where I wake up and I despise it, and all you want to do is sit at home and do nothing. And like, you speak to so many people, because I'm genuinely, like most of us, I genuinely give a shit about the client and what they do, and like, I'm genuinely interested. If you fucking drive trucks or do some shit that I have no interest in, I want to know everything about it, because I think it's cool to know.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
And like, the amount of times I'd ask people what they do, I'd be like, yeah, that sounds sick. And then you ask them like, oh, do you enjoy it? It's usually no. Most people don't really enjoy what they do. It's just a job.
Yeah, and I think especially because if they have a decent pay, like a pay from it, that it's more of a prison then, because it's like, yo, I don't want to do anything else, because like,
no, they don't want to
money's
stop
good
and try something
and
else.
Like,
yeah, and like, it's like, I get it. I get that it gets hard. People think they're stuck in a spot, but at the end of the day, it is possible to change and do something else, or flip around what you're doing.
Let's ask Cody full well. Like, he came from being a fucking garber, and we had conversations. Yo, I remember having conversations. He was just like, oh, I want to be a barber, but the money and shit. And then, but I was just like, yo, fuck that shit. But then you finally took that leap, and it's like
the best decision.
It's best decision. You're making all right money. It's not like we're not. I'm sure if you worked, but the thing is, you're probably making, I don't know how much you're making at Garbos, but similar or a little bit less?
More when I was a Garbo.
But more work. Like more heavy work. More
physical work.
Yeah.
And more hours, which bumped up a lot of...
Yeah, and you have to think too, like,
so
in anything, whether it's barbering or not, you're always, if you shift from one thing to another, you're always going to start at the bottom and have to work your way up. And like, everyone knows that. You know that. That's why people don't want to start something new, or they're scared because they're like, fuck, I'm going to have to go all the way back to the beginning.
Okay, so let's give these guys a fucking let's give these guys a fucking good nugget or something like that. What's something that helped you take that leap from becoming from being a garbage man to then being a barber?
Well, I have always had a passion for being a barber, or the idea of it. I've known Nick and Jacob for years before this, but basically I was always keen to get into it, but I never had the motivation or the confidence in myself to get to this stage where I'm at now, and I didn't trust that I could get there. And eventually I just was over that, and I had the self-confidence in myself to just send it, and I sent it. But I'm so stoked I'm here now, and money-wise was a massive thing holding me back. I lost probably, it would vary, but I lost about $500 a week.
Yeah, right.
In general, like, it would, as I said, it would vary, but $500 a week was kind of what I was losing initially, and then, so that was a big factor.
Yeah, for sure. But like, funny enough, like, even us, right? And I think it's all that mentality. What I'm going to do is we're going to press record and then re-roll on these cameras, because I think this podcast may go for a little bit longer than 30 minutes. So give me 2 seconds on that.
Mate.
And we're off and running.
We're back.
Yeah, if anyone's tech savvy on TikTok here,
Oh, scary.
Oh, disgusting, brother.
Who
be
else?
ashamed.
Who else is a
Okay.
burper? Who else likes to burp?
Burp gang.
I love farting.
I hate farting, but
Do you?
burping is my go-to.
Do I love farting? What's my fart sound like?
Nick's
They
farts are
stink,
the
that's for sure.
wettest. They are the wettest. They
Nasty.
sting, and every time it smells and sounds like he's absolutely sharted himself.
It smells
Like
and
just
sounds like
painted
gains.
everything brown.
Remember that time I did shit myself?
Yeah,
That was
and then
funny.
it happened.
Yeah, it's probably
Getting
shit I
back to
fart.
being tech savvy.
Anyway, anyone on TikTok that's being
Tic Tac.
yeah.
Anyone on
Another
TikTok
beer.
that shits themselves?
Oh, I remember when I had my
Another
first
beer,
mythos.
let's go.
Fucking hell. Anyone on TikTok that is tech savvy?
Yeah, if you know how to set up Sony cameras so that you can continuously roll them while you're doing a podcast, please let me know. I'm sure I could fucking Google it, but it's probably
Fuck that.
better that you guys just tell us how to fucking do it. I'm pretty sure there's a cam link and we have to like connect it here.
I don't
But
know.
I think if we set up that podcast studio, just for everyone that was curious about my farts.
Oh, that was pretty dry, to be honest. Usually they're just like full on wet. Sounds like you're spraying everywhere.
Protein today, have you?
Oh, I've had heaps actually.
Protein
I've had
shakes.
heaps, bro. Yeah, no
There you
protein
go.
shakes. But
All-star
I reckon
nutrition.
if we, All Star, shout
Love
out.
that shit.
How is this a clip? We went in for a tech tip and now it's like half talking about shitting your pants and half actually asking genuine advice.
Okay,
Fuck it, answer if you
Okay,
want, but
yeah.
fuck me, seriously.
so figure out what we're asking and put it in the comments below.
Are you a wet farter or a fucking
Sex-
dry farter? Or do you know
Anyway.
how to fucking fix this tech tip?
Yeah, so
Please and thank you.
no, but I think maybe if we set up that podcast studio at
Yeah.
in Granny's, we could possibly, I don't know, we could probably invest in like having that room. We could get someone that like, if these continue to keep going, have someone sit in that room as like the controller. And they could actually, I think someone has to sit behind here, but I think it would be really cool is they could connect this and make sure the levels are fine and they can sit in that little room and we can do the full podcast. Like there's
Could do
mad
that.
setup. And I think we could really set that up really nicely if we continue to stay committed to this.
Yes.
Which we will.
Yeah,
Well-
I like it. I think it's going to be heaps
What
of
were
fun.
we talking about before wet shits, wet farts, and tech tips?
Uh,
Stuff.
That's a good name for it, I reckon.
Yeah.
wet
That's
farts,
the title.
tech
Tech tip.
That's the title of this podcast.
wet tips and tech farts on,
I like that more.
on TikTok.
Oh. I think we were talking about. I don't know. Who knows? Moving on. We're talking about
Next
barbering stuff. And
Yeah,
people not
so
doing
just
what they
send
wanna
it
do.
if you're scared
Just
of,
do it, brother.
if you're fucking scared of.
Make the leap.
I did the same thing, to be honest. Like, I wanted to be a barber or a tattooist, had no idea what I was doing, decided it was too hard to do either of them, so I tried other stuff that was easy, hated it, and then went, you know what? Fuck it. And then started cutting hair, and I haven't looked back. I love it.
Yeah, we're here
But-
now. We've created shit.
Yeah, that like most people are in this hole where they're like, they think they're stuck and they think they can't get out because they've got like mortgage or rent, kids, car payments, food, all like that stuff. Which, yeah, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, if you genuinely don't like what you do and you want to do something else, you can make it work. Like you have to.
Yeah,
You
100.
got no other stuff. Otherwise, you're gonna spend the next 50 years working, hating every second. And I can tell you, doing something you genuinely enjoy is the best thing because it
And
doesn't
if
matter.
you send it and then enjoy that job, you're going to enjoy the rest of your fucking life.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And money will come.
Everything
Like,
else
money
work
will
itself.
come.
A lot
Money
of
follows
barbers-
excellence.
yeah, through history, like barbers haven't made a lot of money, and especially in Australia. But now you're getting dudes that are easily pulling in $2.5 grand a week.
You can actually think about it like if you're a good, confident barber, you can make $100,000 a year. Of course, it takes a minute to get there, but it's possible.
yeah,
I
same
think
as everything.
I think the biggest thing that I would like to break is I want to break the idea that you only make money in a barber shop at being a barber. I want to be able to create now, and that's what we possibly should have done over at the private studio instead of sinking our time into this, which is it's no bad. Like it's we had heaps of fun with it, and we still continue to have heaps of fun with it. But I think like just doubling down on what we're good at, hence the the academy type thing that we will possibly do, and other
We will do.
projects that we do,
Yeah.
we will do, all stem to barbering. And I think just doubling down on that, hence this fucking brand, this project, this fucking whatever you want to call it, is an extension. We're barbers at heart, and we're barbers like in general. This could potentially make more money if you know. And it's not the fact, like, I think like we have to check ourselves too, is like, yo, if we're doing this, is this a genuine thing? Like, is it a genuine passion that we want to do, or is it hard work? I don't think this is hard work.
No.
Like this, as I was saying to Jacob before, I was sitting at the back. Fuck me. I was sitting at the back between haircuts. I had like maybe 15 or 20 minutes, and I was just editing the last podcast. I was like, this is like, there's work to it, but it's easy. And it's the same how I feel with cutting hair. It's like there's work to it, but it's easy to me because I love it.
It's
You enjoy
it's
it.
enjoyable,
And
so it's easy.
I think it's like, of course you're like, yeah, I want to make money from it. Like, you want to make money for fucking anything in life because money makes the world go round. But I think as well, like, if we don't see $1 from this podcast or $1 from this brand for fucking a year or 2 years, but I'm still making money from barbering from what I love, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'll keep doing this, and I'm sure
Yeah,
you guys will
100%.
keep doing this too.
Yeah.
And I think we have to remind ourselves and put it in now that that's one, why we're being authentic on this shit, talking about dumb shit, talking about fun stuff, supporting mental health, like, is a passion of ours. Like, it really is something that we're like, when we see someone down in the barbershop, we love to talk to them about shit and try and inspire them.
Even from this episode, if one person changes jobs because we told them they can do it,
Yeah, for
then
sure.
fuck, like, that's life changing for us too.
That's massive. Like, but you never take that into consideration, because it's like, a lot of people like, what's the best thing that can make us money? And it's like, oh, we could do this podcast, and if we get enough audience, we can then sell it for sponsorships and stuff like that. It's like,
Yeah.
who gives a shit? Like, it's like, we're having fun with it. We're having a laugh. And I think the teething process is more like figuring out how we communicate on here the best for us. Like, I think by doing, this is the third one, and by far this is already the funnest one we've done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like,
'Cause I'm here, mate.
because you're here, champion.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? We're finding a comfortable formula
Yeah.
that we feel
One thing
comfortable.
that, like, I had this conversation today, and I have it a lot. The one thing that, like, really infuriates me, and I see it all the time, and it's typically always in, obviously, 17, 18-year-olds that are sort of fresh out of school. First of all, they think their parents owe them something because... No, sorry. They think they owe their parents something solely because they've been brought up to believe that that's the case. They think, oh, my parents have done all this stuff for me. They sent me to this good school. They paid for this stuff. They take me on trips, blah, blah, blah. They think they owe their parents what they want, and their parents want them to go to uni and do this stuff, and they try and live their life through their children, typically because they haven't done what they want to do in their life. So they're like, second chance is to get me son to go and do what your father could never do.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then typically that ties hand in hand with university. In Australia, uni being free, so to speak, not having to pay for it up front, this idea comes into play where so many kids end up going to uni not because they are genuinely interested in what they want to do, but because they're coming from school where in school it's all about what you do, who you are, what people you're around,
Yeah, 100.
how successful you are.
100.
The only way to judge people at school based on intelligence is how you go against your school. So you see it all the time. The kids that were getting 90, 95, high ATARs, they're told their whole way through school, oh, you're going to be successful, you're going to be a lawyer, you're going to be a doctor, you're going to make lots of money. So these kids get in their head and go, oh, well, I have to do that because I am smart enough to do it.
Yeah, it's the same as being a tradie and as stuff
Yeah,
like that
exactly
too.
right. It's like there was kids I
it's
went
like
to school
you're good
with.
at woodwork. You should be.
Yeah, you should
Yeah,
be a carpenter
construction
or
industry.
like, yeah.
But it's like that kid could go to uni because he's told that he should be a lawyer because he's smart enough to do it. Yet you get there and then you realize, well, first of all, no one really cares how smart I am. Second of all, my identity was being smart. And now I'm with all these kids in Sydney who've been tutored 7 days a week since they were in year 6. And then they're like, oh, well, maybe my identity isn't just being smart and being in this high paid job. But people will pick a degree based on what they want to tell people they do. They don't actually think about it. And then you're
Yeah.
racking up like 20 grand worth of debt
I'm
each
doing
year.
a bachelor in this and this and this. It's like, yeah, who gives a fuck, Sophie?
And they do that for
No,
5 years. and
exactly
then they
right.
change
Like,
up to
yeah,
work at Coles
100.
again 'cause
But all
enjoy
they
working
they
at
just want
Coles.
to they just want to go to uni, post them photos of them on the train, post them at lunch having a beer.
They're trying to convince themselves that that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
I mean, look,
Or they've
if
been
you
convinced by
genuinely,
someone that they should do that.
we must say, like, if you genuinely are stoked to do that, fucking good for you.
Yeah.
Like, you know
but
what I
at
mean?
that point, you don't care what people think. If you genuinely are like, fuck yeah, I want to be a lawyer.
It's like you won't be posting shit.
No,
You'd
you
be
don't
like,
care
You
because it
just
doesn't
do
change
it.
your mind. But
Like, you just fucking do it.
yeah,
Like,
if you're
Fucking
told
hell.
to be a lawyer because you make a lot of money and it's successful and it's seen as this big thing, but you actually don't like it, you're
I'm
gonna
a
drop
big
out.
time lawyer.
Yeah, that's why so many people don't use a uni degree. But I'm like, you
Yeah,
spend a
I'll-
year living how you want to live and see what the real world's like, and then make a decision. And like, don't get me wrong, you can go to uni for 4 years, get a degree, work it for 2 years or whatever, and then decide, yeah, I don't want to do this and do something else.
Yeah.
Sick.
I would love to see the statistics on the amount of people that actually go ahead and after their uni degree, 4, 6, whatever year, how many years they do their degree. I want to see the statistics of people actually going to go do that job.
It is very low. I think I've seen the amount of people that don't use their uni degree is something around like 80 or 90%.
Really.
Yeah. But they've spent like
We need-
60 to 80 grand.
Of course, we need to fact check that, but like I believe you. Like,
is- yeah,
but,
it's high.
but if it is like we want to show you guys, like not fact check for me to believe him, but it's like if that's true, like then everyone's got to rethink like what the fuck are they doing at uni and spending all that money and that time.
Oh, 100%.
Wasting-
and,
like,
yeah, and
wasting
the
your
idea,
time.
like the idea of a HECS debt is like for you to comprehend
Need another beer.
$80,000 at 18 years old and how much debt that is really hard. And the idea of like, oh, I don't pay it till I make over 40 grand a year or 50 grand a year or whatever it's set at. That's not that much.
You make that just
Yeah.
working at Macca's.
Yeah, it's like if you're 25 and you have a kid and rent and a car, like 2 car loans, not making an extra couple $100 a week because you're paying your HECS debt off for the next 5 years
Yeah,
is
massive.
pretty scary.
Yeah,
And you might not even be using that degree. Like it's hard to think that you would pick something that's going to alter the rest of your life at 18 based on a pressure thing because you're like, I want to tell people I do this.
yeah, like
That
like
sucks.
let's go. Like I'm 27 now. Just to give you some even like real evidence is like I'm 27 now. These guys are a little bit younger than me, which is totally fine. It is what it is. But like between the ages of 18 and 21, I played in a band. Oh, maybe like for the ages like since I left school, like I was 17 when I started a band, and then that's what I thought I was going to do. I thought I was literally going to tour. Like that was when like bands were like big, and we were actually having a good old crack at it. We got some cool opportunities, and we played some cool shows, and I do miss it, but that's what I believed I was going to do for the rest of my life, was actually tour in a band and play shows around the world. And all of a sudden, it was like, nope, not doing that. I was 21, and then I was like, all right, I'm going to become a graphic designer. And then I did that. And then I ended up meeting a girl, and then we bounced out of that. And then I worked at a pizza restaurant, like, and then all this kind of shit. And then it wasn't until, 21 was when I went to America. And just when I went to America, I started becoming a barber at 21. Like I was interested in becoming a barber because between the ages of like, it feels like between the ages of 18 and 20, there was like 5 years there. Like I thought I experienced 5 years worth of life in between that time, which you do. Like you experience so much. Like I lived in the city for so long, and
Especially you're changing so much. You've been going to school for your whole life, and the next minute you're doing
Yeah,
it.
everything
you're doing
changes.
fucking anything and everything, like, which is cool. And you know, but yeah, I didn't start becoming a barber till I was like 21, and then I went to the States, and then I came back, and then I met my now wife, and then that's when I started sinking my teeth into becoming a barber, like just between 21 and 22. I'm 27 now. However, that's 6 years.
Yep.
6 years. So, but even then, when I was becoming a barber, I was still working different jobs. And like, even to this day, I've still worked different jobs. Like, in the lockdown, I got my fucking truck license. Like, and I own a business. Like, dumb. But it's like, no matter what you're doing in your life, you've got to just keep trying things until you find exactly what you love. And it even solidifies this week, solidifies that what I love is barbering. been there for my whole life, like been there since I was 21. It's there because I actually love it. It's not there because it's like security and it's money. Because like literally, I could go get a 9-to-5 job now, being a truck driver, or go get a 9-to-5 job in a fucking call center, or do some shit like that. Like, it's
Film a wedding once a week and make a few grand. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
there's
exactly
so
right.
much
So
out
like,
there.
I feel I've like between me being a barber, I've like learned how to be a videographer. I took time off and was doing videography and working for Athlete, and like then working at a gym and then filming weddings and shit like that. And like certain, and I was also a disability support worker during being a barber as well. And there was a time there where I actually was making about $3,000 a week personally by myself. I was cutting hair and working disability support work, as well as working at a pizza restaurant delivering. I was like, yeah, fuck, I'm raking in the money. It was cool. Like, I paid for a full trip to Thailand with Hannah and I, which like I never let down. I'm like, oh, remember that time I took you to fucking Thailand? I never let it down, but like we stayed in this really nice resort and shit like that, and I was like, I don't give a fuck. Like, spent $4,000 or $5,000 that week, but it wasn't like it didn't feel like it was going to be around forever because I wasn't passionate about it, and I was aware of that. So yeah,
You can see it all the time. Like, people that make quick money, they eventually get to the point where, like, money is just a thing that creates opportunity and
it's a
allows
fucking
you to
tool.
do stuff.
Yeah, it's a tool.
But it's not the be all end all. And I've seen it. Like, I've seen people who've gone for that sort of quick, easy money and it hasn't worked out or whatever. And like, yeah, things change. But like, one thing I remember watching Casey Neistat, he said it a few times, but he said, he's like, from doing what you hate, you'll learn what you love.
Yes.
Because every second you sit there doing the job you hate, you think and dream about what you want to do. And he said that he used the like example of how when he used to like stand there and wash dishes and whatever, make like no money, he'd sit there and be like, fuck, I just want to make videos and do all this stuff.
Yeah.
I found the same thing. Every time, like when I did the trial for the car sales, it's like I'm sitting in an office wearing a suit, having to pretend to be someone I'm not, talk a different way, dress a different way. And all I wanted to do was be myself, talk to people, dress how I want, talk how I want, just communicate with people. And that made me realize that was like that push for me to be like, oh, I did this because it was easy and because I convinced myself I wanted to do it. But at the end of the day, I didn't. It's just...
Yeah, you
And
convinced...
waking up at fucking 6 o'clock in the morning to work 6 or 7 days a week.
And the thing is, you fucking know if you do not like it.
Oh, 100%.
You fucking know,
Yeah,
like
'cause you
it's
feel-
it's in your stomach, like
Yeah,
it's
it's
in your stomach.
gross.
You feel gross. You feel like
Yeah.
oh, you dread it. Sometimes I'll get like that when I'm like when you're cutting hair, you're like, oh, I don't really want to go to work today, but then you have to remind yourself like, but I get to work.
Yeah, the
doing
grass is
this.
always going to be greener, but
Like,
at the
you know
same
what I mean?
time,
Like-
yeah, you can... I mean,
I
like...
mean, it's just your mind playing tricks on you though. Sometimes you're
Yeah.
just like, oh, I just want to fucking sit home. Like if I was like, oh, I don't really want to work today, it's like I literally probably just want to sit home and play video games because I'm either tired or I'm like whatever. It's not like I want to be away from this place. It's just
No.
like,
But doing something you hate, you want to be doing something else.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, it's not like I just want to break. It's I would rather be doing this. I mean,
100.
like, I'll put it in this perspective. Like, I have people from like school or whatever that come in all the time and tell
Sorry,
me.
I'm just gonna go get another beer because
All right, go ahead.
I got
mate.
that.
He's got the suckle for it. I have people from school tell me all the time when they come in, they're like, oh, you're killing it, you're doing really well, blah, blah, blah. And like, I'm only, freshly 23. But the year after I finished school, like going through high school, I knew I didn't want to go to uni, had an interest in the military, went like through the whole Defence Force recruiting process, got in, realized that I did not want to do it. And I was like, shit, like I could tell people that I was going into the army, which made me kind of feel like, oh, that's my reason to them why, like what I'm doing, because I needed a reason. When I was just lost. I didn't know what the fuck I wanted to do. So I was like, yeah, I'll go in the army. That's a good enough thing. I thought I'd enjoy it. Hated it. Came out of it. And then now instead of being like the person that was looked at as like being in the army and the military is obviously looked at as being like a pretty professional thing, and it's like quite notable. And coming out of that, I was like, fuck, now I'm back at the bottom. Like all my mates are at uni or they're doing a trade or they're working. And then every single time I catch up with family or family friends or whatever, they're always asking what are you doing? You should go do this. You should be a plumber. You should be an electrician. They make a lot of money. You should go to uni for this. Telling me over and over again what to do. And for a good 6 months, always hearing that and trying to figure out what I wanted to do. It's like, fuck, maybe I should just do that because that's what people say is successful, or just to shut people up. And like, my mom has always been one of those people that will tell, like, if she didn't like something, she would get out of it, or she'd find another job, or she'd look for another job, or if she wasn't passionate about something, she'd look for something else. And she always said to me, she's like, look, as long as you're working towards something, or you know what you want to do, I'm happy to support you. And like, at the end of the day, you don't have anything that you like that is relying on you. So try things and figure out what you want to do while you don't have that risk. Yeah, so it was a good few months of me trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and I felt all this pressure of like feeling like I had to figure out what I wanted to do just to shut people up, because they were so used to seeing me sitting there being like, oh, you should do this, and thought that I was going nowhere. Then a year later, I'm a fully qualified barber, have lived overseas for 3 months, traveled, working full time, making decent money, and then a year later, we own a business.
Yeah, you're 22 now, right?
23.
23.
Fresh. 23.
Oh, that's right. You had a birthday the other day.
Yeah. But that, like, the point I'm getting at is like, I see it in so many people. I see it in so many clients of mine that are like, they're agitated because they are so sick of people telling them that they need to know what they're doing, but they have no idea.
Do you know what? I don't know whether it's I don't know if they do it to you, or maybe because they see me because I'm quite vocal about it. I don't know if people get offended when they say, Nick, you're doing so many things. You're doing so many. You just got so much going on. It's like, like, why not? Like, there's a fucking lot of things to experience in life. Like, why not experience a lot of things?
Oh, 100%.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, what do you want me to do? Just like, oh, you been up to much? No, I just been cutting hair and then going home and sitting down and playing video games.
Yeah, people are so used to just doing like nothing.
Yeah, so it's like when people are like, oh, you've got a lot on, like, fuck, I don't know how you handle it all and shit like that. It's like, well, to be honest, like, I'd rather die if I just sat home and did nothing. Like, to be honest, like, like, for instance, we're doing this podcast after cutting hair all day and shit like that. It's like, a lot of people would be like, oh, why don't you just go home and hang out with your wife and baby and kid and just, like, sit at home and do nothing? It's like, well, it's because we're trying to fucking do something with our lives. We're trying to trying to get somewhere, you know, and of course, this is fun. Like, it is very fun, but it's like we talk about wanting to do this stuff. You've got to do it. Like, if you talk about you want to do shit, like go to the gym or like start a little side hustle or something like that, you've got to do it. And it might seem like people might be like, oh, why are you doing that for? You're doing too many things at once. You're going to burn out. You're going to die. You're going to do this, blah, 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 blah. It's like, well, fuck them. It's like, do what's going to make, of course, it's the cliche shit, like, do what makes you happy, but at the same time, like, there's going to be so many people trying to bring you down. And I think it's because they're, as you just said, like, you know, they're agitated because they can't do that for themselves because they haven't got through that mental.
One thing that
makes sense?
Yeah. Someone said it in a podcast
pants.
or video or something, and I think
like riding up.
He said, if the only reason, like, people, ego is the biggest thing. Everyone has an ego in themselves, and like, if you're being successful, like, people will always try and stop you, and we've seen it. Like, when we were looking to do Civitas, you tell people about this idea of, like, we were very, like, reserved about telling certain people, but you tell people about this idea of doing a barbershop and a cafe and a bar and clothing and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah, heaps of shit.
And they're like, oh, no, don't do that. Like, you've already got it so well. Like, why would you move from a small shop and go into a big shop and have all this stuff? There's too many cafes in Terrigal, bars, too many bars. Yeah. It's too hard to get a license. But then they said the same thing about the private studio. I remember people telling me, like, oh, I wouldn't leave the shop you're at because you've got it easy. There's not as much risk.
Yeah, it's easy.
Don't take the risk. Why would you do that? Blah, blah, blah. But then as soon as we've done it and we've showed them that it works, they're like, oh, I knew that was a good idea. I told you that was a good idea.
Oh, it's a great idea. Yeah,
people do it all the time.
Yeah. And you get those rare ones that are like, oh, like, I was wrong. Like, I thought that you guys weren't going to do it, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But, like, the thing is, like, we're struggling, of course, with the cafe in front area and stuff like that. And a lot of people, you know, will be like, oh yeah, fuck it, I
Told you
told you,
so.
I told you, or this or that. So it's like, yeah, but at least we fucking gave
Give
it
it
a crack.
a fucking crack.
Big
Learn
arg,
some
big
shit
arg
from
crack.
it.
We've learned
Yeah.
heaps of shit. And do you know what? In the next year of whatever we learnt from the fucking past year, it's going to excel us even more.
Yeah.
So you have more shit to fucking hate us for.
Yeah,
you know
and
what I mean?
that's what like that's the point. Is it's like we're not doing it for anyone else. We're doing it for
Yeah,
ourselves.
I'm getting fucking tanked already.
But the one thing that someone said is like, if you're successful and people see that, they get the shits with it because it means that it hits their ego, because they see you doing all this shit and they go, it makes them subconsciously realize like, fuck, Nick's out there and he's got his own business and he's done all this stuff. What am I doing? And then it hurts them. So their instincts is go, I'll fucking drag him down so it makes me feel like I'm pumped up again.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
very
100.
hard for someone to be like, yeah, fuck yeah, bro, you're killing it. I'm proud of you. And we're around people that are doing that. And I realize like there's no point sinking time into people that aren't like that. You need
Yeah.
to be around a circle of people that can see you and be like, yeah, fucking no, go kill it. And
100.
we're around people that do that because we're around people that are in the same boat. They're doing their own thing. They're hustling their own business. They're growing.
Yeah,
And they
wh-
want others to succeed.
I think we're very lucky that to create such a cool brand and business that
Community.
it's a community that is very like-minded. Like we're very lucky with the clientele and customer base that we have that isn't that just Joe Blow. Like most of the people that come in are quite interesting people.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Like
100%.
most of them
a
are.
generic barbershop.
No,
walk-in
like
clientele.
and considering like considering that we were just talking about people that come in and talk about how they hate their job, that doesn't mean they're not interesting. That just means they're in a fucking shit job or
Yeah,
whatever
yeah,
it
they're
is.
just in a
Preserve
position where
themselves.
they feel like they can't leave. And so be it.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people can't take that leap. And that's fine.
Yeah.
But they just, the thing is, you realize that a lot of them just aren't in the right circle to give, like, people to push them to
have that
take leap.
confidence, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And like, but like the thing is, that's what we strive, and that's what we've created here. Is that we strive for that, where we do encourage people to take that leap forward and take
Yeah.
that leap. Hence,
If
this
I
man right
if
here.
I hadn't met Nick, well, I met him when I was 5 or whatnot. But
Yeah.
if I hadn't
was
been
5.
around,
Supposedly, we have no photos together, right?
no.
Should we get Dominic Green on this
Yes,
podcast?
we need to bring Dominic Green, set him up. He's there on
Shout
the
out
proof.
Dominic Green.
If I hadn't met Nick and if he hadn't pushed me and given me a little bit of the confidence I should have had in myself, then I probably wouldn't be here today, and I'd still be a garbo or a mechanic or.
Yeah, and most people are
Some
like
shit.
that. And that's fine. Like, it's sad, but the world is fucking negative, and at the end of the day, like, it's hard to be around people that are positive and want you to win. But like, if someone was in the same year as Nick at school and they see him come up on Instagram and fuck, he's killing it, they know that it's been the same amount of time between that point in time and when you left
Yeah.
school. When you left school, you're in the same position.
Yeah.
So it's easy for them to be like, oh, his dad probably gave him all the money to start it, or he's probably being supported.
Yeah, they're gonna
or
get, like,
whatever,
they're
because
gonna-
it makes them feel better about the fact that they're not in the same position as
Yeah,
you.
they're gonna make excuses, and I think like for people like us, we just sometimes. I mean, the thing is. It might seem like it happens a lot, but it doesn't really. Like, and I think that's
Oh, no,
because
definitely not.
because we are surrounded by good people, and when that does happen, we just block it out because
It doesn't matter. We're
it
not trying to
doesn't
seek
matter. Like at
validation
the end of
from
the
other
day,
people.
like it's just like I don't care if you think we're doing shit or whatever. It's like at the end of the day, we're trying to do what's best for us.
That's why I'd find it quite funny. I'm like, if there is people out there that are thinking that I don't know, been born with a golden spoon up my ass and I've been given money and all this sort of shit, then that's
It's like, no
I find it
way.
quite funny because it's like,
Look,
I know that that's not the case, and even if it was the case, it wouldn't really bother me. But I know that that's not the case, so whatever someone thinks of me doesn't change my mind.
I might have to take some beers home. No, exactly right. Like,
But a lot of people live to try and gain something from other people. Like they need other people to gas them up. To make them
yeah,
feel better about themselves because they're not confident in themselves. And that's fine. Like it's hard to be confident in yourself and trust that you know what you're
so
doing.
yeah,
But you need people around you to do that.
and
you
just
need to be in
just
the
to
right
remind
circle.
you and stuff like
Yeah.
that too.
It's that classic saying of like, if you're in a room of 5 millionaires, you'll be the 6th.
Yeah,
If you're in a room of 5 successful business people, you will be the 6th because you're in that positive mindset. And if the opportunity arises, but you've told yourself the whole time, nah, I could never make it in business.
yeah,
You could have the business and the opportunity could be right in front of you, but you've convinced yourself that you wouldn't be able to take it. So you go, nah, fuck it.
yeah,
But if you keep telling yourself, I'm going to make it, I'm going to make it, I'm going to make it, I'm going to do it, as soon as that opportunity is there, you're like, fuck it, let's jump on it.
It's speaking into existence. Like, this has been repeated so many times from so many different successful people, and like we're not even that successful.
Oh, hell no.
You know, we're far from it. But when, I guess, like, if you're looking at money success, of course we're far from it. But if you're looking at it, like, hey, look at it this way, right? Sometimes I have to pinch myself that did you ever you came to Mad Dog Co?
Yes, I did.
That was in a garage.
Yes.
How long ago? Not that long ago. Maybe 3 years ago? 3 years ago?
So 4 years ago.
Yeah, 4 years ago. Now we're sitting in a fucking place that is worth over $100,000 because I believed in myself. You know, it might not be making millions of dollars, which is totally fine, but the project and objects that, like, when you look at this place, it's like, this is quality. And the garage was a fucking cardboard box. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it was, man, like, and as I said, if you want to fucking calculate it, like, success is money, we aren't successful. But when I look at this place and the team that we've been able to create, like Jacob and I, like that opportunity when we both said, coming from the tattoo shop to like me, like, okay, yo, we're going to open this fucking shop across the street. And he's just like, yep, already know the fucking answer. Let's go. To then like having Haley, and then to having Taylor, and now Cody, and like, and the team is so rich, and the opportunities and like fun that we've had.
Yeah.
Like,
that's the success.
you can't put a dollar figure on
No.
that. You literally, that is the success.
And all of that is a byproduct of people doing, like, not even just Nick and I, but everyone who works here doing what makes them happy. That's literally it. And that's why I preach it to everyone. I'm like, I don't care what you do. If you have a fucking passion about driving garbage trucks, or you think it's sick, fucking oath.
Like, if you really think that's what you want to do, why the fuck not? Like,
I met a dude who
why
was
the
a
fuck
painter
not?
once. He was this kooky old dude, and he was like the most passionate about painting. Every other painter I've spoken to hates their job. Everyone from work sites hates painters. This guy loved it. And it was sick to see. It's like this guy who's like 60 or something years old froths the fact that he paints houses.
It's
like,
hectic.
what do they say? Would you do the job for free? Would you come in here?
Yeah.
I have.
Maybe-
Yeah,
We
exactly.
have many times.
Yeah.
And like that is 100%
Yeah.
exactly right. You would do the job for free.
Exactly.
Like,
You know, you still need your way of living.
but I
would
think
you come in here tomorrow and cut everyone's hair for free and walk out? Yes, you do.
Yeah.
You have
100%.
before.
Because you'd figure all the other stuff out.
and we have figured out
Yeah.
other stuff out. But I think the biggest thing that we will learn as entrepreneurs and whatever it is, of course, you need money to fucking make the world go
Yeah,
around.
you still need your money.
You
to
need the money.
Live.
You need the fucking money to live. But I think the thing is, man, like, and I think like over the next year, if you guys continue to keep following us, and we're going to wrap this up in a minute too, and I want to leave this on this, is if you guys continue to keep following us for humans and you support us, keep this brand alive. We bring out merchandising. We bring out that. We ain't that kind of people that want fucking, you know, everyone wants millions of dollars, you know what I mean? But we're not those kind of people that are like, we want your money so we can go buy fucking like 1 million cars or anything like that. We just want some fucking dirt bikes. We want some jet skis. But even then, like, it doesn't cost much, you know. That's what we want. That's all. We just want those things to have more experiences rather than to be like, to like hold on to that money, you know. Like, we want to be those kind of brands that are like Danny Duncan, where they just like, he has a lot of money, but he gives a lot to his friends and gives a lot to community and builds things for people. And it's the same as like in Milk Boys, you know, those guys have their money, and, you know, yes, it creates more views and shit like that, but it creates experience. Because at the end of the day, like, you know, I'll get to 50 and it's like, you know, we did all the things, we made all the money, and, you know, but, and then when I went broke, and I was just, I'm not, if I go broke and it's like I'm just fucking working at a pizza restaurant and making fucking couple $100 a week, it's like, fuck yeah, I've lived. You know what I mean?
Experience
Yeah.
I've experienced, like, it's like I'm not gonna take $100 million to the fucking grave with
No.
me. Like, who the fuck? Like, yeah, I'll leave it to my family, but even then, it's like, who gives a shit? Like, you know, we're on this. Yeah. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that didn't come across like I want millions of dollars for the sake of it. But
No, it's that saying of like everybody eats. Everyone around
Everyone
us
eats.
is going to eat. Everyone's
Yeah.
at the table. Everyone's getting looked after because we have a circle of people that we want
We want to
nothing
bring
more than
everyone else
success.
up too, though.
Yeah, 100%. Like,
Mm.
I don't want to be like absolutely killing it and then coming in here and like everyone else is slaving away just making doing haircuts. I want
100.
everyone to be out on the jet ski, fucking
100.
having fun on the yacht, doing shit. That'd be sick.
Yo, you look at this, right? Like, it's like Cody. Like, I just said to him, I was like, you want to hang around, do the podcast after? It's like, he's like, yeah, sweet, cool. Like, do you need to go? Do you actually need to go?
No,
Like,
I'm good. I'm just
no,
just
but
dinner's at home on the
he's like,
table
oh
waiting for
fuck,
me."
man, I needed to go like 25 minutes ago. But no, that's 100%. It's like we didn't want to take all the spotlight here. We want Cody to be a part of this. We want Jacob to be a part of it. Me a part of it. Taylor a part of it. Everyone a part of it, so then you guys can see what we're creating here. And it's the same as Civitas. I didn't want Civitas to be a place that because that's what happened with the private studio a bit there. It was just like, oh, this is like Nick's shop, like. But Jacob and I ran it together, and that was the biggest thing I didn't want was to be like it's the same as like the other shop we used. It was a certain barber's shop, but it actually wasn't. But it was like hard. It's like you want everyone to believe in the brand rather than just that one person, like. And
Yeah, it doesn't matter whose shop it is. It's just that everyone goes there for everyone.
Yeah. Anyway,
Follow your fucking dreams.
Follow your
Please.
fucking dreams.
Please.
Anyway, we're gonna bring the stuff inside from outside, and we're gonna go. You good?
I'm
You
good.
good? You good? Anything you want to
Yes.
say?
No.
Follow me on Instagram.
Follow Cody John
__
Jarvis.
Throat. Cody.
Yeah.
Check it.
Maybe Cody will go get his blowjob now.